founder, woman-in-chief at Jacaranda Books, launched in 2012.
Yes.
And why did you choose the name? I know it's a tree in the Caribbean that runs to the Caribbean. You can get it in the Himalayas as well. As a tree, can you say a bit about the name?
Well, yeah. So I lived in San Diego, in California, for almost 20 years. And there used to be a street in downtown San Diego that was just lined with these jacaranda trees. They're all over. And they would bloom. And once they come into bloom, they'd just be this gorgeous purple lined road of trees all the way down the road. And it's just beautiful, you know, and you could see the name around the place. And I just love the sound of the name. It's so lyrical. And the tree itself is so beautiful. And then when I came to found the company, I wanted something that kind of had the outlook, you know, the kind of more of an expansive outlook. And when I looked up the tree, I found that it was found all over the globe, in South Africa, in Australia, in South America and North America, and in the Caribbean. So I thought, that's us, you know. We have a global outlook. We're very inclusive. We believe in multiculturalism and we believe in diversity. So it just seemed like a perfect fit then, you know. So the beauty of the tree and then just the symbolism of it being found all over the world.
I want to come back to that in terms of just that diversity and that eclecticness.
Yeah.
And, you know, in terms of how you choose authors and the books. I want to come back to that, but I want to take you back a bit because you've been in publishing before you launched Jacaranda in 2012 for a good while, 15 years?
Well, on and off. So when I was in San Diego, I worked as a bookseller at Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
So that was my first sort of foray into it. And then when I came back to the UK, I didn't have a job and I had 2 small children. So I managed to get myself on the Masters in Publishing Studies at City University. And from there, did a number of internships and finally got a job as an office manager with Profile.
Yeah.
So I worked there for a year, Profile Servant's Tale. And it was whilst I was there that I just felt like I wasn't getting anywhere in terms of, you know, what I thought I could really do. And I could see, you know, I mean, I'm sure you probably remember back in the 80s, you know, when you used to get all of these amazing authors coming over from the States.
Yes.
You know, Virago was really good about that. Women's Press as well, you know, Tony K. Bambara, all these amazing voices.
And yet Elise Dillsworth was there at that time. Yes, she was very important. Well, later on, but I mean, but it has that legacy, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Women and diversity.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and that was it. You could tell what kind of woman the woman was if she had a Women's Press book. You know,
yes.
like, I know you.
Yeah.
So I felt that energy was lacking in the UK, you know, and I just thought there must be a way. Those authors have to be there still. But of course, you know, we're the 21st century, you know, believe it or not, we are still in the 21st century. And I felt that it was a way to expand that idea of bringing new voices. So not just African American, but African voices, Australian, you name it, you know, just a way of incorporating that. You know, my degree, I went to Exeter University and my degree was in American and Commonwealth arts.
Yes.
So the Commonwealth aspect of it was amazing. You know, I read Bessie Head from South Africa and Peter Carey from Australia and, you know, the Bone People, Kerry Hume from New Zealand. So it was a broad-based, you know, look at culture, essentially.
Yes.
And it's always stayed with me. I'm always just fascinated by just interesting aspects of humanity from other places, you know.
I want to talk also about the fact that you seem to be a risk taker, because when you think about it, 2012, to launch yourself as an independent publisher amid a recession, amid a publishing sector under criticism, but also, you know, having to rethink and losing some of its foothold due to digital publishing, Amazon, you know, e-publishing and digital publishing. What made you take the risk?
I know. People used to also...
You're obviously still thinking, wondering how the hell did I do that?
No, but you know, when people say, oh, you're so brave, you know, I'd be like, why are they telling me I'm brave? I'm not brave. Is it code for something else? No, but, you know, they say necessity is the mother of invention. So, you know, I came back to this country. I had 2 small children. Well, they were 12 and 9 at the time. And I needed a job, you know, and I'd taken this degree, a master's, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So it was really about trying to find a place for myself within the industry that I wanted to be a part of, but I wasn't getting anywhere. So that was the sort of foolhardy nature of it all, you know. I guess it does take a level of kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, maybe risk-taking is what you call it. But it didn't seem to me to be, you know, that was the option I felt. Like, I'm going to have my own business. It wasn't, I'll go to another industry or I'll just find another kind of job. It's like, I'm going to start a publishing company.
It's entrepreneurial.
Yes.
I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, it's like taking a calculated risk, because
Yes.
you are not silly with two small children, as you could say, to then delve into something that you didn't think had legs, had mileage.
Exactly.
And, you know, and you obviously had a vision.
Yeah.
And you're still here. We're having this conversation
Trying.
because, you know, because obviously your instincts were right. Your authors are so eclectic. I mean, you talk about your influences and what inspired you. I mean, also I know Verna Wilkins, Summer in Books, and Margaret, you know, Margaret Busby, enough said. But, you know, your authors are so eclectic, from, you know, poet Anthony Anaxagorou, historian Stephen Bourne, African-American author Bernice L. McFadden, African writers such as Fiston Mwanza Mujila, and Black British authors, you know, such as Stephen Thompson and Irenison Okoje. What draws you to an author and book? Because it feels very much from what I've seen of your work, you know, and how I've watched you work, and the authors who are enthusiastic about being part of Jacaranda books. But it seems it's not just about the book for you. It's not about acquiring, just buying the book. It's about the authors themselves. I mean, what pulls you to an author and a book idea?
I mean, I feel that it's as varied as the people themselves in some regards, you know. So, I mean, somebody like Anthony, you know, he's just such a bright light in this, you know, literary world that we have at the moment. And, you know, it was amazing that he agreed to work with us at that early stage that we were at, to do something that was completely outside of his comfort zone in terms of short stories.
Yes.
And, you know, he really took that on, and he was really brave about it, and I really appreciated that. Something like A Renaissance, I mean, that story was just fate.
Yes.
Because I went to school with Donna Daly Clark, who won the Commonwealth Prize for her first novel, Lazy Eye. And I contacted Donna in 2012. I said, Donna, I'm starting a publishing company. Can I publish your next book? She's like, well, I'm still working on my next book, but I really want you to meet somebody because I'm mentoring this young girl. She's really great. I would love if you could meet her. And then that was it. You know, I didn't hear from her again. Fast forward about a year, and I'm at the, you know, brilliant Sophie Rochester. She had, you know, Fiction Uncovered.
Yes, the writing platform.
So Arenason had written a piece for them about diversity. So I was on the board for Fiction Uncovered. So she invited me. Obviously, I'd gone to the prize night, and there's two black people in the room, me and Arenason. So of course her sister was there. So of course we go sit by each other, you know, and just start talking. And she says she's a writer, and I don't know, something instinctively made me say, do you happen to know Donna Daly Clark? And she's like, yeah, she's my mentor. I'm like, shut up, you're the girl, you know. So she sent me her short stories, which are right here.
Yes.
And she sent me her novel, and Butterfly Fish. And, you know, Arenason was amazing because she's very, at the time, obviously she's amazing anyway, but she was brand new, you know, very much willing to put herself through the editorial process with me at my kitchen table at the time, and was just really a brilliant person to work with in terms of just helping that manuscript become what it became, you know. And then her short stories, again, just her mind, you know, she's so talented. So for me, that's like nirvana, you know. You meet somebody that young, that talented, that raw, who's willing and able to engage you in this process, understand the process, and work with you in it. It doesn't get any better than that, you know. And I mean, there's kind of a story for nearly all of the, you know, in that way, because you're right to pick up on that. There is a sense of like feeling like we love our authors. We really do. We really want to do well by them. And we didn't start from scratch, you know. I would say we started from the pinprick of scratch, you know. It's like, we're like, So the people in the early days, you know, really were the pioneers with us in Jacaranda. I mean, we were like 2 tin cans and a piece of string, you know, and they stayed with us. So, yeah, I have a real fondness for them. As time has gotten on, we have bought books from agents.
Yes.
So it's a slightly different engagement, obviously, because, you know, you don't always meet those authors. But in that case, it's the work, you know, that's really speaking to us.
But it's interesting because when you look at, like you say, the journey, it's like there's a story within the story, your story, the story of Jacaranda. And the fact that, I mean, the first title was Fashion Africa, and we reviewed that book before you took it on because we just thought it was amazing. And then when we heard that she got the deal with you. I mean, that's amazing. Yet now, we're looking at the fact that 2015, 2016, that period for you, I think just, obviously you're doing great work, but everything in terms of the public domain sort of blew up, isn't it? Because some of your authors were shortlisted and longlisted, everything from the NAACP Image Award, the Man Booker International Prize, 2016, and obviously you had winners as well. A Renaissance, with the Betty Trask Prize in 2016, and Fiston, was it Etisalat Prize for Literature in 2015. I mean, that must have just been so gratifying, not just for you, but and also for the authors. What does that say about, or how did you read that? I mean, obviously you have complete faith in your authors and your choice, but that does indicate that you are good at spotting talent. Because I mean, that's just a short period for you to then start reaping rewards like that quickly.
So that's it. That's the takeaway, because not that you need prizes to really sort of verify what you're doing, but it is a stamp of approval. It's it's like somebody else telling you that, oh yeah, your instincts and your insights were right, and this is great. So from us, every single one, we've just been ecstatic in-house, like, oh, this is so exciting. I mean, when Fiston got longlisted for Man Book International, that will go down in history for Jacaranda, because it came so, I mean, we knew the book was brilliant, but it just came so unexpectedly, like, what, so we were so happy. And then that was us being happy for us. But with the Renaissance, we're just happy for her. She's just got so much talent, and we're just really happy to see that finally recognised.
Yes.
And she's only going to go on and do more amazing things. She's incredible.
Well, just in terms of also you going on and doing amazing things, the fact that you recently published the book Rest in Power, a memoir written by Sabrina Fulton and Tracy Martin, the parents of Trayvon Martin, who was killed 5 years ago at age 17. He would have been 22 in February in 2017. And obviously the impact leading to the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, you are now at this particular time, it's so precedent because you've got Trump, you've got Brexit, and then you have this devastating experience happening in America, but it's also very resonant and pertinent for us here. Exactly. How did that happen? How did you get to get the publishing rights for the book?
Well, I mean, we approached the publisher, the US publisher, and we wrote a really, really strong pitch, because we really wanted the book. And we paid more money than we paid for anything else for it. But we really felt it was worth it to have it on the list. But we really appealed to the US publisher and let them know why we felt we were the right people to publish in the UK, And they agreed with us, and agreed to sell us the rights. So it was, I mean, one of those ones where you go to sleep at night, you're like, oh, no, I don't know. And then, they write back such a beautiful email, and just are so complimentary to us. And it was just, again, a wonderful feeling. This one, it doesn't feel as good because obviously it's such a sad story. But at the same time, it's not just a sad story. It really is a story of hope. On the part of both of these, the two parents, I mean, they are the ones who have walked this road and are now at this end of it and still trying to kind of, in a way, encourage people. They're not broken by it. They're not beaten down by it. They're saying, this is what happened, but we can move on from this. And so it was all of these reasons why we felt like, we have to do this. We really do.
2 years ago, you said what happens in a white-dominated industry is that black issues become a shorthand. Now, 2 years on, from you saying that, do you feel the same? And if so, what do you think your presence has done to help shift that image?
Yeah, I mean, because I think what I was trying to say about that is what I meant by being a shorthand, it was a way for them to kind of address things without really addressing them. So the shorthand is, we've got this internship for black candidates, or, we've published 2 black authors, and then nothing else changes, And I think that that's still the case, I feel that, James Daunt just recently had a piece in The Bookseller, about the state of bookselling. and the fact that fiction sales are rising. But I went to the bookshops, in particular when we published the Book of Harlan last October. We specifically held it back. We bought it when the Americans were going to publish, because we bought it from an American publisher, the UK rights.
Mm-hmm.
And we deliberately held it back for October, because in this country we have a thing called Black History Month. So we thought, well, this is a black book, we'll focus it on that month, and we'll try and get as much activity around it during that month. And we did an amazing job in terms of her publicity. She was at Cheltenham, she was on the BBC, did amazing things. But you go into a single bookshop, half of them didn't have the book, and when they did have it, it was one copy. And there was one bookshop that I shan't name that had a shelf of black interest books, and half the shelf was empty. There weren't even any books on it, and this is 2016 in publishing. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I feel that there are places like Waterstones where I can't remember his name.
Piccadilly, Mark Banton.
Mark Banton
at Piccadilly. Oh yeah, he's so proactive, isn't he?
He's brilliant,
Mm-hmm.
and he's made such a difference in terms of us feeling like we've got support and we've got somebody championing the hard work that we're doing. We haven't cut any corners here whatsoever. We're doing whatever anybody else is doing, and for a book like the Book of Harlan to not even get some kind of a display for Black History Month. That's all it was. I wasn't like for the whole year, I'm just like, we have this month and we got this two amazing books, because we had Evelyn Dove, Homegrown, and nothing. And if I wasn't doing the thing at the level that we're trying to do it, in terms of production values, in terms of the authors, in terms of the whole process, then I wouldn't have an argument. But I feel like our books stand, alongside any other books in the bookshop. You're not going to look at them and say, oh, that's that black author, that black publisher. Which is not to say that we're not proud of that, we are. But that's not all who we are. Mm. So that's what we're trying to really let everyone know, that we're doing it like everybody else.
Finally,
yeah.
What are you hoping to achieve for Jacaranda Books and a more inclusive publishing industry, but more importantly, in terms of Jacaranda itself?
Yeah.
Where do you hope to be by the end of 2017? Apart from looking forward to that you survived the year,
yeah.
but where would you? What's the primary goal for you?
Yeah, I mean, we're still so young, I mean, we're still kind of finessing our acquisitions and finessing that list and really thinking about how we can move forward 2018 and beyond. But we do have a lot of really cool, exciting things in the pipeline. My background is editorial and as a writer, so I'm really keen to work with organisations like Words of Colour and others to develop some kind of writing school or programme that focuses on young voices, particularly from Black and African backgrounds and Asian backgrounds, because we get a lot of manuscripts through us, I'm sure you do too, where you just like, if somebody just sat down with you, and really went through this, it would be so much better. But once you sent it to us as a publisher, we can either only say yes or no, and because it's not right, we're going to have to say no, So I would love to be able to offer that to people, to be able to either have their manuscripts assessed or to actually take classes with us. And to learn how to improve on their craft. We've got a really cool project we're working on with Stephen Thompson that I'm not going to talk about at the moment, but it's so great. So excited about that. And lots of little things percolating. We've got a global classics list that we're doing in 2018 that's just already brilliant. Like, we've got some fantastic authors on that from Chile, Haiti, South Africa.
Wow.
So a whole kind of global look at, just to add to, it's not about replacing Jane Austen, it's not about replacing Wordsworth, who I love, Thomas Hardy, I'm a freak for. It's not about replacing these authors, but it's like, how much richer would the environment be if they sit alongside one another, as opposed to you just go in there and it's only one type of book that you're seeing.
We coexist.
We coexist.
We coexist. We're in the world, we coexist. So why can't we just have the books and any creative output that shows coexistence is what is happening, so it needs to be reflected in publishing.
Absolutely.
And you seem to be doing that, and doing that with a lot of grace and at great speed.
I know, we need to slow down.
No, but the thing is, the demand is there,
Yeah,
So look, Valerie, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you. It was a pleasure.